Although I remember Frank Redpath before he died talking to Philip Larkin at the launch of Rumour City, and they seemed to get on like a house on fire. They're probably both deaf and daft, but
So do you remember Larkin saying to Redpath that your poems are the only poems in terms of the Roman City poets, Frank Redpath is well, Larkin is supposed to have said to Frank Redpath, "Come and talk to me, Frank, because yours are the only poems I can understand."
He also said, Frank told me that he came up to me and he said, "Yours are the only poems that I wish I'd written."
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
And there was
I can see why, because they're quite sort of influenced by like
that's right. Yes, and there's
so,
another character we haven't mentioned yet from Hull who was Jackson. What was his name?
oh, Norman Jackson.
Norman Jackson. And he stood up. He did a reading once at the old Hull Truck Theatre, and he said, "Now this is a poem that Philip Larkin wished he'd written."
Before we sort of move on from Hull, there's also another influential character who we've not mentioned, who actually ran a magazine called Way.
Oh,
He ran the Solus Press, and he published Larkin,
yeah,
he published Donald Davy and Tom Gunn very early on. And of course, it was Ted Tarling.
Ted Tarling.
Can you say something
Yeah,
about Ted?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
And he published you, presumably, did he, early on?
No, he didn't. No, I never got him wave. No,
Right.
I was always missed.
Would you start by reading this
Can
one?
I read Dawn now then?
Just start with that one first and then Dawn, please, because Andrew's asked if you could read The Last Summer first.
Which?
The Last Summer. And
Oh,
then
the
Dawn.
last summer.
Yeah, and then we'll make sure we get it in. Andrew's asked if you read it.
Okay.
So
Where is it? Which page is it on?
Page 63, Tony.
63.
63. Right. Okay. The last summer. My children are flying brightly and alone, as perfect seagulls, perfect forms, volatile, skimming the cliff's dead force. I watch them from the sky as they test the waves, defy the constant vigil kept between land and sea. Discordant dreamers, testing their skulls in the solitude of God's approval. I keep back my wings for fear of disjointing a dream. My old flat heart beats with a mingle of fear and light from a circle of worlds unknown. I keep high above the sea's heave. I keep low beneath the sky's unrest. I marvel at my glide between my eyes and the untrammeled rest within. And I have been asked by the brilliant sun that urges me to fly, to last one more year as great, grey overseer of my bearing. One last cycle housed in uncertainty until I roll and melt into the shaping of the sea.
Dawn?
This is the third love poem I've written. Dawn. I have caught you waking before the full force of the day centres. I have seen you leap high at dawn, testing the nerve of your spirit, rubbing your eyes in wonder at the rudiments of the world.
I'm quite interested in the pronouns there. So you say Featherstone called it the tragic eye. To me, that's the lyric eye. And part of the technique is you say almost nothing about it, and you say almost nothing about the you. So we can bring to that stone what we want. We've kind of created a space onto which we can project what we want. Does that make sense?
Yeah, very fair interpretation, I would say.
And then you've got this interesting word, rudiment. Remember, the rudiment of the word. First principle, something informed.
Something basic and
Well, it's basic. It's basic. It's it's. Remember that fearsome question you asked me in that interview, Ian, um, about the Gnostics. But
I think there's something Gnostic in this.
yes, there is.
yeah,
Likewise, Divine asked you about before the days left their appearance.
about the divine spark.
Yes.
Well, rudiments is aligned with the divine spark, isn't it?
It's like a first principle.
A first principle. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Unquestioned, or unadorned. It's rudimentary. So the rudiments of the world is the world before it's contaminated, I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah. It. That's right. Yes.
Well, that's
It's because most of us are battling against contamination, aren't we? That's a very good way of putting it, actually.
There's a sort of a Wordsworthian sense of we come trailing clouds of glory. I think in Tony's work in general, that when we're born, that's when we're most innocent, and that's when our perception of the world is most pure and most correct, and we become contaminated by the prison, which is physical existence, and I think that's very, very strong.
Yeah.
This idea of the bars coming down.
I think it's innocence in the Blakean sense of meaning grace.
Yes.
Right.
There's also something Wordsworthian here, I think, in the technique. It's sort of like the Lucy poems. You say nothing about the conventional social self. All of that is pushed aside.
Yeah. And there's something here as well, which you mentioned in Fleetwood Pike. I don't know if you're going to sort of read it or not. But in that point, Tony talks about progenitors. And obviously it's people like Wordsworth.
Progenitors,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the sort of people that you're referring to in Fleetwood Pike. And Wordsworth's sort of sense of innocence and his sense of awe in the face of nature. Shall we have Fleetwood Pike now, please?
Okay. Yeah. If I can find it. Let's pose it on. It's in Kavita, isn't it?
49.
It's page 50 or 51, I think.
49.
49. I remember sitting and looking at Fleetwood Pike, and I was transfixed. You get these transfictions occasionally. And just staring at this mountain peak. In actual fact, to start with, I was thinking about my grandparents, but it didn't matter. It was a kind of vision. It was like the Pursuer when I wrote that in the Lake District. I'd never been to the Lake District before, and we went in February when I was with my first wife, and it was covered in mist, and I couldn't discern where the top of the mountain stopped and the sky started. So it had a kind of mystical quality. And the same thing happened in Fleetwood Pike, although it was a very bright sunny day.
In the poem, obviously you mentioned it's a Shelley sort of poem in a sense, but also you mentioned your progenitors. Are they your physical family, or because you mentioned your grandparents, or are they the literary influence?
It's both. It's both.
Like in Shelley and
it's both. Yeah.
Yes.
Because Ed mentioned to me that you thought I was writing about Wordsworth and Coleridge. Obviously, I had those in mind.
Yes.
Because the Lake District had a profound effect on me, gloomy though it was. So yes, indeed, yeah.